I don't think that everything we offer has to be like a money play.
Yes, I agree.
And because we're going in the direction of focusing on community, I think that right now, though $100 is just a little low. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because of just the cost, the overhead, the team, the staff, everybody that has to be here for it. And you're literally getting a plate of crab cakes and lamb chops and, more of whatever you want and dessert and all this stuff. That's $100. That's a $125 plate. And you can't go into a restaurant and order crab cakes and lamb chops and dessert and refill everything. You just can't do that. So I think the goal should be to cover the expenses for sure. Because while it doesn't have to be a money play, it also doesn't have to be a depletion play either. So
that's why I came up with 100 because it covers the expenses.
Yeah, now.
Why would it change?
Well, did you factor in staff and their time and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, they're already on payroll.
Okay.
So it's costing, I think, probably $30-something a plate, $40 a plate. We got to rent equipment and stuff like that. So the whole thing cost me probably $4,000, which is what we made.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well then it's
Here's the kicker though. And I don't say this, but like I got a whole reasoning behind this $100. It feels good to me. I work with this market for a while and it's like an exclusive event. You feel me? But I'm literally arguing with going back and forth with to the best of my for what I can tell is I might be the best marketer on this call or the best mover of people on the call. And just to the best of my knowledge,
I wasn't on the call, by the way, just for the record.
Right. So not saying that like our team has immense value. But if we start talking about like mental health and stuff like that, I'll probably voice my opinion. And Joe says, this is what we need to do in terms of helping someone with their mental health. Because he went to school for it, I might have an opinion, but I'm not going to go back and forth with Joe on that because that's what he does. Like, I'm not going to go back and forth, how to organize this place. His mind works that way. I might have some suggestions, but he might say, well, it's not going to work, and this is why. Or this is the system that's going to be best, and this is why. And then I'll just be like, oh, all right, well, cool. Like Christina, she does the decor. She's amazing at it. I always have some sort of some suggestions or input. But after she tells me why she's doing what she's doing, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. But I'm on this call, and I think they kind of got together. It was like, oh, this is what we need to do. And I'm like,
tell Dave, raise the price.
And so I wanted to know how you would approach that or handle it, because after I got off the phone, I'm like, yo, why am I arguing
with a bunch of people who don't
let me be in my lane?
Let me do this part. This is where I come in.
This really, I don't do a whole lot of stuff good, but this is the thing that I do well. Oh, 100. This right here.
Oh, this.
Well, just one finger.
Okay, because it was a broken wrist. Anyway, so I think that number one, you have to make sure the team understands the mission and the vision behind the Social Proof 7 specifically.
Real quick, did I paint that? Did I say it a lot? Like the vision that I have for like why this number is the number?
I'll be honest.
Checked out after you didn't get your $200 raise?
Yep, there you go. I was like, I'm on a detox right now, so I was like in and out of on the call. So I kind of I didn't really, that's why I wouldn't say much on the call, because like, I'm gonna let y'all handle that. But I mean, you always get your point across. That's one thing you do well. You make sure you get your point across.
I don't think I did though.
I mean, I feel like you did, because eventually what happens is once you kind of get to where you're trying to get to, everyone kind of just gets quiet when they're talking to you. And it's like, okay, we're just gonna let him have his way.
Yeah, but the quiet feels like emotional, like, he's not listening to us.
It's definitely emotional. I feel it all day, every day.
Yes. So
it's very emotion tied, because you gotta think about it. No offense, women, but you have a team full of women. A lot of feminine energy.
No, it's not, Joe.
You trying to
count the people on the call. Who's on the call. This will be men, this will be women.
Christina.
Christina.
Lauren.
Jen. Jen.
Jada.
Jada was not on the call, but Jada. We can include her. It's cool.
Okay. Men, you got myself, you,
me,
Mark, Donald,
David, Trey.
That's 6. So 6-4. But for the most part, those who talk the most are the women, though. It's typically you, Christina, Jen. Everyone else kind of just chimes in here and there. And of course, Mark.
Yeah.
So what I have learned is...
So your point, the point you was making didn't make any sense. But I see where you're going with it. Okay.
So what I have learned is you have to talk to... Come on in. You have to talk to who... You have to talk in your company to the people who are qualified to have the conversation, right? And then you have to tell everybody else what's going to happen. So if you want opinions about pricing and strategy and things like that, and you're offering it to the team, then you're going to get some feedback that's invalid. If you're serious about really getting good strategy, good feedback, good pricing, talk to the people on the team who are versed in those areas. And then together you guys are on the same page, and it's not about presenting a opinion, open forum. Now we're telling you guys what's about to happen. And it's still building team. It's still great because you've made the decision and you're presenting a united front to the team and saying, hey, heads up, this is where we're going, right? We love your feedback, but this is the direction and this is where we're going. And so you want to be careful because now you're in your head because you've had this conversation that went on for 30 minutes when you already know what you're going to do and why you're going to do it.
Yeah, I need to be more. Y'all ever experienced that? Like maybe you're working with somebody and you want their input, but their input is coming maybe from a different place or from a different perspective, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the vision.
Right.
Because I try to explain this too. Like, so the next one, it might be, let's just say we raise it to 200. Mm-hmm. So for the people who saw it at 100 and they see, oh, wow, it worked, and now Dave raised the prices. This one's 200. And now when I do it the third time, it's like, is it going to be 300? Because there's not a consistent thing to follow. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it's changing. And I don't know. I know there's somebody thinking like, I got my 100 ready. And then when they go on there, they see it's 200.
Yeah.
It's like, the consistency of brand, I don't know.
You have the right to raise the price until we find the price that works. So that's not the issue, neither here nor there. But it's what's motivating the price increase is what has to be considered.
Can you tighten that, Joe? Sorry.
I'll just do this. It is what is motivating the price increase. Right now, the goal is not to profit from the event, it's to cover the expenses and introduce people to an exclusive experience. And it is still exclusive by number of tickets. So exclusivity doesn't have to be created through price. It can be expressed through availability. And so this is if you know, when we release this, you better be there to get it ASAP because it's just $100, but the first people have to have it. And, it's cool to have people, whether you make $1 million a year or more or $100,000 or you haven't made it there yet. I have this $100. We don't know whose life changed in that room because it was so reasonably priced. And the exclusivity was determined by number of tickets rather than the cost of the ticket.
Yeah. And I think I definitely want to value people's expertise. You know what I mean? Like as y'all start building out your teams and things of that nature, you want opinions. Now after the conversation, I realized that it would be better for everyone to establish the area that they have the last word in. Because I felt myself like really looking for validation, which I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I was really looking for validation from, and I don't want to say bad, but people who don't do this specifically. Yeah. If we're having a conversation and you've done a bunch of events, so me and Drew, we're talking through an event right now. He's done just as many events and activations as I have. Mm-hmm. So when we're having a conversation and he's thinking through the methodology based on experience, I'm like, he's probably going to offer a perspective that maybe I didn't think of, or, from experience of the same exact thing that we're doing.
What's an activation?
An activation is, you know what an activation is, right? I've seen it. I just don't know how to describe it. So an
He's done as
activation
many
is,
events and activations as I have. I
So
can't
an ac-
tell you exactly
so
what
let me
it
tell you.
is,
So
but
an activation is like if you have a company like Verizon or something like that, where you set up an event around Verizon's offering or whatever. That's an activation. You never heard it called that? Because you ain't in the space, you feel me? This is what we do. Me and Drew be having different level conversations.
it's another level.
It's a level.
Jose, don't feel bad. I didn't know what an activation was. I wanted to clear it up, though, for me and everybody in the room, because none of us knew and some of us are still kind of fuzzy.
Yeah, you know, we're all still growing, man, because you didn't know what a Fortune 500 company was. You thought it had 500 employees, so.
That is not the truth.
That's not the truth? What episode? We can go to, you want us to pull up the episode? We can insert the episode right here.
Donald, if you do, we have problems.
But anywho, so as you guys are, for one, I think it's important for all entrepreneurs to at least know the direction that you're going in. Because if you don't know the direction that you're going in, any and everyone's opinion will hold weight. And everybody's opinion matters, and it will further confuse you. I've experienced that over and over again. Where I'm not 100%, I'm just doing something. I got the t-shirt brand, and I'm selling a bunch of t-shirts. People are like, yo, you should do socks. Right. Yo, you know what you need? Bedding. And I'm like, well, we sell t-shirts, but beds. Sleep is for suckers. In a bed, sheets, you need that. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I remember spending a week looking through sheet manufacturers. I'm starting to learn the difference between thread counts and quality and silk and cotton and all kind of stuff, like satin and cotton, all that kind of stuff. And I realized, the only reason I spent the last week of my life doing this is because I know there's a direction I want to go, but I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself. Am I pigeonholing myself into just t-shirts? And then someone said, you got to do socks and all this kind of stuff. And once I let go of all of that, once I let go of, bro, I'm not doing pants. No, we do tops, t-shirts, hoodies. You can make $1 million with just that. But what will happen is if people don't know what to expect from your company and everybody's opinion matters, no one from a buyer perspective can follow the company and know what's coming, or people like to know what to expect, right? What if you turned on Martin one day and it was like more motivational? What if the whole theme was around motivation and education and entrepreneurship? You're like, nah, I want to hear you joking on Pam. I want to hear you call Tommy Milk Dudhead. I want to hear that. You feel me? But because someone said, the space is going into entrepreneurship, you need to do it. That's not how you become classic.
I agree.
So.
I agree.